All right, just hopping on YouTube here. Thought we would just get you caught up on what's happening. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Bibb County here. That includes Centerville, and that is for this guy. And let me tell you, the light show with these that are coming out right now is absolutely nuts. There is so much lightning, not just with this one, but across the southern half of the state. That we are, I mean, looking at just a nonstop light fly in the sky. It is quite the show. And for those of you who've thought, oh, heat lightning, um, this is exactly where that idea comes from. Is the fact that you can't hear the thunder associated with these, but you can absolutely see the lightning. So this is a look at the storm in Centerville. So what I'm seeing here, first of all, this is moving incredibly slow. This is one of the problems with these summertime drifting thunderstorms. They pulse up. Well, by this time in the day, our steering winds, our atmosphere is very stagnant. So anything that pops up just kind of inches along, right? And so what we're seeing here is likely right in this area. I'll draw out where I think the core is. This is likely where hail would be, right in here. Now, again, that doesn't necessarily mean there is, but this is the part of the thunderstorm that is likely responsible. Let's see if I can get this volume slice in here. Um, but it's likely the part of the storm that is very tall. If we take this 3D here, you're looking at a cloud top, it's in excess of 30,000 feet. So right in here is your core. And this is just to the north and east of Centerville. So where you see this bright pink, it's the core of the storm that probably has the most dense rain, probably some hail in there, whether it makes to the ground or not, yet to be seen. But that is typically the part of the storm that we look for with respect of the more dangerous part or the more active part. And the thing is, they don't usually last too long. I'm going to put this in. We'll go back to just regular reflectivity here. Let's put a lapse on this. Let's give it 30 minutes because this has just kind of been meandering about. And you can kind of see here the base is not moving. You have pretty good northeasterly winds aloft. You can see the top of this storm being blown over here. But the base itself is just sitting tight. I mean, over the same spot. It's not really moved. County Road 26 right here. This is 6 Mile. This is Montevallo Road. And just north of here, I mean, this storm has been parked for the better part of a half hour. Let's see what, I'm going to go and see here what the rain rate is in this, because this is just, I mean, pretty intense. So if you're beneath this is why it is almost impossible to figure out rainfall totals for these. Look at, in this one little spot in Bibb County, okay, you have a cell that is dropping rain at a rate of 4.5 inches per hour. It's been sitting there for a half hour. That could easily be 2 inches of rain for folks. Hey, guess what? You live over here in Piper, not a drop. The size of these is so minuscule on the micro scale that it can be very, very difficult to pinpoint, the rain with it. But again, severe thunderstorm warning continues for Bibb County. Gusty winds, perhaps some hail. How about down here? Boy, this is where I'm going to switch over to this really quick. So this is, check this out. So this is Montevallo, Alabama, American Village. This is looking south towards that same stuff down there towards Montgomery. I mean, it's almost a nonstop light show. And some of these storms, these cells are focused, as far as 80 miles away. And you can see the cloud to cloud, the cloud to ground strikes. You can see all of it. It is quite an active atmosphere, and honestly, it's a beautiful thing to see from a distance. But if you're beneath it, it's not fun at all. But that's how it looks from Montevallo, from Shelby County to the south, is that kind of nonstop lightning here. But again, kind of taking this from a full scope view. I'm going to hop back over to our analysis, and you can see the warnings here. And they've been pretty well warned. All of these have been over the last, hour plus as they moved into Alabama. I'm going to switch over here to the Montgomery radar site. This just gets a little better look into some of this stuff. But Look at these lightning counts. 124 in the last 10 minutes. Now this number's down a little bit. If I go back, even further, some of these numbers get even more impressive as you head down towards what came through Luverne, Troy, Brundage. I know I saw my former station there, WTVY, they were covering these as they came through, but these just exploded. And you think about, I said this earlier on the newscast, but when you think about fuel for these summertime thunderstorms, the heat can often be that fuel source. There's other factors in play, obviously, but you have this tremendous amount of heat at the surface. And as we cool off, there's an imbalance in the atmospheric profile. And that really warm air at the surface, boy, that'll shoot vertically very quickly. And the leftover energy, this heat, is a fuel source, and it has been in full supply here this evening. So again, just hopped on here for this. We're hopefully going to go on time here. But if you are in central Bibb County, it's very rural. I've chased out here before. This is, if you're coming down 5 from West Blockton and from US 11, I-20, you'll eventually hit 82, Centerville, Brent area. But before you hit that, you'll come through, Old Highway 5 branches off from here. But this is between 25 that runs all the way over towards Wilton and Montevallo. So if you were to hop on 25 and go far enough, eventually you'd be in central Shelby County. You keep going to the west, and this is going to take you right on into Centerville and right into the path of this this cell. Now, I will say, based off the lightning strikes, I think we might be seeing kind of the tail end of this particular. Let's see here if I can get another view vertically of this. Let's do a box right here. So again, this kind of gives you an idea of the profile of this. And this is right over, again, here's Montevallo Road 25, and you've got this core right in here that is just, that is where all of this is suspended, right in here. So that's your rain, that's your hail, that is the middle, the core, the center of the storm. And as that bottoms out, you have just this tremendous amount of mass that comes down with it. Let's see here, let me clear this out. I'm gonna try to get another slice of this to show you guys again what we are looking at here with respect to the radar. So clear that out. And again, you look at the heights of this, and I mentioned earlier too. So this is at 30,000 feet. A lot of commercial aircraft, you'll fly 30 to 37,000 feet. Aircraft have to go up and around. This is very high. Put that in perspective. Anyone who's flown, you're pretty far up there. You get to 30,000 feet, right? These storms will go in excess of 30,000 feet. And in the summertime, when you have these higher atmospheric heights, the ability for those storms to grow that high vertically, that's just that much more mass and much more thunderstorm that ends up aloft. So when this bottoms out, you have those gusty winds. You can have those hail cores because you get to that upper level of the atmosphere where you have that critical drop in temperature, the freezing level, all that good stuff. The point is, these high storm tops, high cloud tops can be, the reason for a lot of these cells getting more intense. So that's kind of a view of it from a 3D angle. I'll go back to just the base reflectivity here. I just kind of like messing around with that stuff. Can't always do that easily on air. But I believe this is about bottomed out here. It's going to rain for a little while longer. And I mentioned for folks who are watching, which may not be many, but that's all right. We're talking about it anyway. Look at how slow. This is over the last 30 minutes. The rain total for this little spot here. Watch this. So this is in the last 30 minutes. We went from no rain to pixel query this right around 2 inches. And that makes sense because the rain rate with this particular cell is very, very high. So you look at this, this is basically taking, the radar beam, and it's looking into this cell, and it's saying, okay, based off of the returns this is giving, this is dropping, if it were to stay in one spot and maintain its strength, about 5 inches per hour. It's a lot of rain. And this is indeed dropping a lot of rain, and I would guess that folks right here in rural Bibb County have had easily 2 inches of rain here. This is right along County Road 26. This is 219, and then probably the bigger thoroughfare here just outside of 82 and 5 is going to be Montevallo Road. So all of this taking place between Highway 5 and Alabama Highway 25, which is also Montevallo Road in this part of Bibb County. So again, I'll go back to the bigger view here. We will do one last check of the radar. Hopefully we go on here right at around 10 o'clock, and that'll give us another update, another chance to update this cell. But they've trimmed back, the National Weather Service has, the polygon for this, because the structure of the storm itself is not really moving. It's almost like a smokestack where it's in one spot and the cloud tops are overshooting and drifting downstream. So again, central Bibb County, this is the idea of an isolated, strong to severe thunderstorm. There's a lot of energy in place. This happened to be the one spot where this cell this popped through, and this might very well be just about fizzled out by the time we go on the air here in 20 minutes. But just thought we'd cover that. Again, we will be on the air coming up here at about 10 o'clock. I haven't been following the NBA draft, but I know that is the programming that precedes us. So we will indeed follow that. I'll leave you with another look here at the Lightning from American Village, and this is looking off to the south. So again, hopefully that gave some perspective, or maybe you learned something from this. But summertime thunderstorms, they can pack a wallop. They can be short-lived, but that doesn't mean they're not impactful. So when you see the lightning like this at a distance and you see it, you don't hear the thunder. It's not heat lightning. There are indeed thunderstorms out there. They're just a good ways away to the point where the speed of sound, it doesn't reach, but the light does. So these storms across southern half of Alabama, pretty potent. We'll have more on it coming up tonight at